It's a great day, my amazing CEOs. Thank you so much for allowing us to stream into your office or into your home or onto your mobile device. You have a lot of choices and you choose to be with us. And my promise to you is during the CEO Sales Huddle that you'll get the sales strategy, the sales structure, and the sales system, well, along with the sales message that you need to really take your business to a 8 or 9-figure sales department and generate an extra $100,000 plus a month of revenue over and beyond whatever you're earning today. And is that a huge challenge? Absolutely. But here's what I know. When you solve a problem, you have impact, you make a difference for others, well, you don't have to chase the money. The money will chase you. So every morning, I start with our mantra, and our core philosophy as a company is success leaves clues. Now, it's not a new idea. But boy, does it work. And what it stands for is that if someone else has done it, so can we. So we take a look at a business case. And when we look at that business case, we look at what's working, what didn't work, successes and failures. And we say, what can we adopt in our sales department to really energize us, get the sales momentum that we need to take our business to another level? And that's how we get started every single morning. So let's get started with the case study this morning because it's one of my favorite things to do every single morning. Let's get started. Once upon a time, there were two brothers named Ryan and Roy Cedars, and they had a problem. Sound familiar? And their problem was they loved fishing, but their coolers just couldn't keep up. Every trip, the coolers would break, and they'd have to buy new ones. This was not only frustrating, but it was super expensive. They needed a cooler that was as tough as their fishing adventures. Here's a problem. They're stuck. They want to do something about it. So the brothers knew they needed to do something different in order to succeed. So instead of selling big retailers, they choose to sell small independent shops. This way, they could keep control and not be pushed around by big companies. So that's where they took their coolers to. So they sold coolers directly to customers. And you know what? The word spread. What a sales message quickly. In their first year, they made $500,000 and their business kept growing. So they had a unique selling message. They had a sales strategy. But then disaster struck. Their manufacturing partner, Ivan, was tragically murdered, leaving their business in a tough spot. So they had to act fast to keep their company alive. Ron and Roy made two smart sales decisions. First, they raised their prices. Whoa, that's kind of pretty cool. And surprisingly, no one complained. Then they showed how strong their brand was. Second, they started making coolers in the US to make sure they always had enough to sell. Sales strategy, sales structure, sales system. Even though it was more expensive, it was worth it. So they invested in better tools to make their coolers even stronger, even better, add more value. So you go beyond solving the problem to adding value. Their hard work paid off. They kept growing and started making new products like the Yeti Rambler cups, which became a huge hit. At first, launching cups seemed like a distraction, but it turned out to be a brilliant move. By waiting 9 years to expand, they ensured their core product was strong before branching out. So now you got a sales strategy. Now you have an audience. Now you're solving the problem. So what's my big takeaway to you as a CEO? My big takeaway to you is a lesson you can learn from Ryan and Roy's story, which is, to me, is important. It's having a strong sales strategy. And it's being patient and making the adjustments that you need as a CEO to the sales message, to the sales product. You see, they didn't just sell coolers. They sold a solution to a problem. And by understanding what their customers needed and creating a product that met those needs, they built not only a product, but something people trusted. And this is a great example of having a clear sales strategy and being patient with growth, which can take your business to the next level, make you more profitable, and impact more lives. You do that, boy, and you will see your sales go up, 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 and away. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown. Welcome to the CEO Sales Huddle. Every single morning, I like to get started with our core philosophy of business. And our core philosophy of business is success leaves clues. I mean, okay, it's focus on sales. Focus on sales. Focus on sales. Repeat those words after me if you would. As a CEO, every morning when your feet hit the ground, when you turn on your laptop, when you turn on your cell phone, when you show up at a meeting, I want you thinking, focus on sales. Focus on sales. And here's the real reason, because if you can't focus on sales, and I know this sounds so crazy, but if you can't focus on sales, you can't be in business. Here's the big reason why. It's because sales, at the end of the day, is the oxygen for every great business in history. And without sales, my belief is, and I don't think I'm alone, there's always more money pouring out the bank account than there is pouring into the bank account. What's the message that we want to drive home to you? The message we want to drive is loud and clear, is that selling is serious business. Selling is serious business. Selling, at the end of the day, is serious business. So with that being said, as we get started, we want to go over to our mantra. And our mantra is learn, earn, and return. So we have a pledge that we make as the CEO to our sales department. And that pledge is something we take very, very seriously. The pledge is what we're going to do, what we're totally responsible for, what we can be in charge of. And here's that pledge. I have to learn something new in order to earn new revenue from current clients, in order to get old and new clients to return. So I must learn, I must earn, and I must what? Return. Now we have 3 objectives when we get together. Our number 1 objective is about sales progress. It's about sales growth. It's about taking a look at the roadblocks that we have in our business. And we're not talking about 2 years ago. We're not talking about 2 months ago. We're not talking about 2 weeks ago. We're talking about yesterday. So yesterday we look at what was the successes, what were the roadblocks, and then we go to the other side. We got to understand the 5 sales pillars that every CEO must know and understand in order to be successful. Now, sales pillar number 1 is you got to have a sales plan. I mean, you just have to. 1 page is preferable. You got to understand the sales cycle. But the case study we talked about today, did they go deep? Yes, it's about the sales message and the sales strategy. And then last is about building a 7-figure sales team when you understand the CEO sales dashboard. And for those folks that are tuning in and you tune in for the very first time, welcome. We're glad to have you aboard to the CEO Sales Huddle. For the rest of your family, it's always good to see you. Welcome back. Do me a favor, if you're on one of the media platforms and you can look below the video, go ahead and put hashtag I'm here. Hashtag I'm here. Let's check in. You can see me, but I can't see you. So I love checking in with so many of you. I love reading the DMs that I receive. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to serve you. If you're watching the replay, you can't be here every morning. That's cool. Go ahead and put hashtag replay. Put a hashtag replay. There's nothing wrong with that. And many of you tune in and you just listening because you're on podcast right now. Maybe you're on Roku, maybe you're on Apple TV, maybe you're listening on one of our syndicated platforms. Man, we're on like 72 different platforms, I think. So go ahead right now, do me a favor, drop me a DM over at I am Shay Brown. Like, let's connect. Go over to at I am Shay Brown. Drop me a DM. Let me know you're in the building. Let me know that you showed up. It's a pleasure and an honor to serve you. Thank you. Now, for those folks that want to know, what's the purpose of the CEO Sales Huddle? A very reasonable request at a reasonable time. The CEO Sales Huddle is a place where CEOs gather to understand how to sell more faster, easier, with less effort, and make it convenient for you and your business. Our big why is about sales growth, accountability, and consistency. Now you might say, well, how do you be consistent, Shay? As a CEO, how do I be more consistent than I am right now? Well, you get to tune in every morning. You get to spend 15 minutes on this particular huddle. Now, maybe you have your sales meeting. Your sales meeting might be an hour. Maybe you have a sales meeting that's a half an hour. Every day you might be in a sales meeting, but the huddle, 15 minutes. Now, you might say, Shay, why 15 minutes? Well, there are 1,440 minutes in every day. Never 1,441, by the way. The exact same minutes every single day. I have the same amount of minutes. You have the same amount of minutes. Everyone has the same amount of minutes. And now we take 1%. And we have one outcome. And our number 1 outcome is $100,000 a month of consistent, predictable, reliable revenue. Because you're in this conversation, because you're focused on sales, because you're implementing your sales strategy, you're looking at your sales structure, you have your sales system, and you're always adjusting the sales message so that it connects at a much deeper level, you're able to generate an extra $100,000 a month over and beyond whatever you'd be earning if you didn't have it. Now, the question comes up often, Shay, how do I do that? What do I measure? What do I look at? What do I manage? How do I know if I'm on track or off track? Where should my focus be? So we created for our private clients, only behind the scenes in the past, was the CEO Sales Dashboard. It was never released. It's now open to the public. So you can go download it now at ceosalesdashboard.com. Then you go to www.ceosalesdashboard.com. And when you get there, there's 5 components. There's leads, appointments, offers, deals, and repeat business. Now, we're going to spoil it up in a moment. So you open yours up. Some of you do this every single morning, and it's a really good opportunity for you to check in. And it's an Excel sheet. And it looks something just like this. And once you pull it up, here's what's really incredible. Once you pull it up, I think that's it. There we go. Once you pull it up, it has an Excel sheet. And at the top, it has the date going across the top. So you go 1 through 31 across the top. Then you can look at the number, you look at the categories on the left-hand side. So you can see leads, appointments, offers, deals, and repeat business. So you can put in your top 2 products or your top 3 products or your top 5 products. Put those in right now. And then when you go to the bottom, let's look at deals. Seriously, go look at deals. And when you go down there and look at deals, here's what I want you putting in there. How many new deals came in where a repeat client, that's a client you already work with, purchased a new product? Now you can look at leads. You can look at appointments. You can look at offers. I just want to go to one category, and let's do that real quick. Let's do a deep dive. Repeat business. Repeat business means you already work with the client. They're back again for another time. And when they come back, you go look, you say, well, let me see, how much revenue did I generate from this client when they bought a new product? Or how much revenue did I generate because they bought an existing product? That means you have an iPhone and maybe the person upgraded and they got a case. How many folks are in a membership program? And so we added new members to our program just because they decided to buy. What gets measured gets managed. What gets managed gets better. But we're going to celebrate wins because we know what the successes are and the wins are. So do me a favor. Let's go over there and look at that right now. And as you go look, powerful people ask powerful questions because questions steer focus. And in this life, you get what you focus on. So let's ask ourselves 3 questions. Number 1, what are you most proud of? For the sales department yesterday. The sales department yesterday. Not your marketing department, not your branding department, not your operations department, not your health department, not your finance department, not your faith department. In the sales department, what are you most proud of yesterday? And then what was your biggest accomplishment as a CEO for the sales department yesterday? I'm not just talking about the sales department. We're talking about no other department. And then what do you want to brag about? You just want to come on here and brag. Say, I can't wait to brag. But we know that every day is not cupcakes, unicorns, and rainbows. There's always some challenges. So what was your biggest roadblock yesterday? What's the one thing that's prevented you yesterday from moving forward? And what's the one thing you can do? You have complete control over. You say, Shay, if I focus on this and I do this, I can move the business forward. I can make this happen. And go ahead and jot that down in your notes right now. Powerful people ask powerful questions. Why? Because questions steer focus. And you can help more people. You can make more profit. You can impact more lives. My message to you today is focus on your sales systems. My focus today is focus on your sales systems. My focus of today is focus on your sales system. And ask yourself, what's my number 1 lead generation system? What's my number 1 appointment setting system? What's my number 1 offer system? All I want you to know is what's the number 1 you have, not how do you do it. What's the number 1? If the answer is I don't know, then I want you to focus on sales. I want you to focus on sales. Let's have a serious conversation about that. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, host of the CEO Sales Huddle. It is an honor and a privilege to serve you. Make it a great day, everyone. And my promise to you is we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless. Keep doing God's work. And I'll see you on the other side. Peace out.